Alrighty scrappers, welcome back to Scrap It Australia. Now here we are, here it is in all of its glory. Now I am pretty sure that this is a freezer, but you know, there's no difference internally. We've got our compressor down the bottom here with all of our pipes running all around. Now to the normal scrapper, what they would do is basically take out the 4 screws that hold in this bottom plate and snip the copper off up here, drop it out and carry on with their day. But what I want to find out is how much copper piping goes up and around. You can obviously see that it goes somewhere, so how many kilos or maybe hundreds of grams of copper are we missing from one fridge? Now when I found this fridge, luckily it didn't have any food whatsoever in it. Sure, the door is open, so you got all this green waste in it. There's the cord there. I took all the rubbish with it, so I wasn't going to leave a mess. Usually when I find fridges, they're taped up, and they're taped up for a reason. So to the tip of the day, if the fridge is taped up, don't open it. I've learned the hard way, and trust me, you don't want to learn that hard way either. But anyways, we're going to be peeling off all of this metal surrounding, this metal back, and pulling out all the pipes out of the foam. But before we get into that, we're going to weigh it up and see how much you'd get for this as it is. Now fridges aren't really that pricey when it comes to scrap. Most of it is like plastic and glass, and then the whole thing is entrapped in foam. So what my scrapyard does is it has a negative $55 a ton due to the waste levy. So we're going to weigh it up, we're going to see how much we'd get, but anyways, let's carry on. Alright, so I've just taped up the door because it didn't want to stay shut. But anyways, it's on wheels. Alright, 58 kilo, we'll say it's 60. Alrighty, so we weighed it up, 60 kilos at the price of $140 a ton, but with the waste levy of negative $55 a ton, this comes to a total of $5.10. That's including the compressor, and then we'll open it up, including the cord and all of this waste. But anyways, we're going to tear it down now. Hopefully this compressor is a copper winded one, but anyways, let's carry on, strip all the metal back and see what we can find. So I'm obviously going to have buckets for everything, which we've got a nice stack over here. I'll keep everything separate from the copper, the brass, and even the steel. But the first thing we'll do is clean it out, because, well, obviously the plastic waste isn't worth anything. We can also chop up this cord. Yet again, just like my dishwasher video, the plug is worth nothing basically. So I'm just going to chuck that into my normal plug bin. But anyways, you can actually see here we've got a, this might be steel, this might be stainless. Looks like steel. Yep, that's a steel rod. Now obviously it doesn't cost me anything at all to get rid of general waste, which is what all this plastic waste is. So I'm not going to count like a tipping fee or a rubbish fee to any of this, because, well, why should I? but most of the time these are just pull aparts. So back here you should have a radiator if we pull this off. Oh yeah, we got a little blower fan. There might be a radiator somewhere in there. Same with this. Grab our drill. What's going to be our steel bin? Ah, this one right here. There we are. So obviously you can see here we've got a little aluminium radiator. We've also got our pipes leading back down into the compressor. Now before anyone gets pissed at me, this fridge has been degassed and obviously there's no effect on the environment due to the gases. There we go. We'll just slap all this up here. Get a little sneak peek. LE radiator. Alright, that might be... Can't rip any of this off. And that's a little copper just going back into the fridge. So... let's take this door off because it's being annoying. It's always swinging about and won't shut properly. Tip it over. And so we'll get into the majority of what we love, which is all of this copper. Now I don't have a copper bin. Let's grab another bucket. That's our drip pan, or what all the moisture goes onto. We'll grab our cutters and so these are obviously loops, so they're coming from there, go all about, come through here and loop. So we got 4 screws down here which brings the metal out. Beautiful. We'll clip that cord out. Just get rid of some of this loose yucky rubbish. That's some more steel. Slap that over there. Also cut this compressor free. Not yet, we gotta cut the cord. Alright, slap that bad boy up there. Now, this does look like a pretty old compressor, and it should be copper because this is an older fridge. But anyways, we'll grab this copper. Now I'm not going to bother sorting the number 1 and number 2 copper. Obviously number 1 is without solder or paint. Snip these off. Now we got one going down there. I will leave a little bit of slack. That's all copper right there. We'll just grab out this, which is our element or whatever it's called. It's like a filter basically, which we will cut into this later in the episode. Little copper. Alrighty, so you can obviously see I've had a little hack at it myself. Basically, we're just going to pop up that metal panel and try and rip out the copper. Oh, we're getting rained on. Alright, grab our little pry bar. Actually, this crowbar should do better. Obviously, at the same time, I am being very cautious of my own health. I am wearing gloves because this metal will be sharp. And we can even see it here. Look at this. This is all copper. Wow, look at that. And now there is a chance that this could be steel, so I'm going to scratch it and hopefully it is copper. Oh, look at that. That is copper. That is amazing. So what these tubes essentially are is the refrigerant goes through them, and it's basically a big radiator. So what it will do is it'll cool down all of this foam, and the foam will remain cold and it'll keep the food cold. You can obviously see this is not the only pair of copper pipes going into the fridge. There will be other coils like this on the other sides and around the place. But anyway, let's get this off. Alright. So I was just covered in this like tin foil tape, which is easily rippable. Just gotta follow the leader. It's very soft and malleable copper. There we go, look at that. That is some nice copper piping. So now, that tin foil doesn't weigh anything, so it's not going to affect the price of anything. Just bend that in half. That's a little bit of piping. We can also see we've got our wiring. Now there is a very high chance that this is going to make a mess. So, oh well. It just rips right through. Done, that's our little wiring harness. We can also grab this little bit of wire. You know, oh, I just accidentally picked up a little piece of copper. I'm gonna rip this out just to throw in the rubbish, and look, there's copper piping under here. All right, go in the rubbish. You can obviously see I was right. It's just a loop, and this goes off down into the side. So we're gonna crack the sides off now. Now I'm not sure how this loops around, so I might have to angle grind just the way around to peel it off, because I've got zero clue what the main support or how far it goes or what it does, so but not to worry. Oh yeah. So we'll just come back through and it should just peel right off. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure that one goes there. Or at least it'll go somewhere. Yep. And this one goes straight back over here. Right. Oh, would you look at that? It goes somewhere else too. Down the bottom. Wow. Alright, well, just gonna chop that off right there and we'll be back for that one. Oh wow, that is just amazing. Look at that. Oh, that's all copper. Alright, so I'll just lay it out a little bit flat and we'll get to peeling. That's just bundle all this up first. Oh, the glue is so sticky. Alright. The secrets of a fridge, eh? Oh, this one's different. It's a zigzag. That one's just up and down. Alright, put you in there, and what we'll do is we'll fold this up. Look at the mess we've made. Alright, so we've done just about everything around here. I want to figure out, because under here is a copper pipe, you can see it on the bottom. I need to figure out how to get into here. But if not, that's alright. Yeah, it comes out here. And it goes back up there, alright. And the last piece of copper. Just amazing. So much piping. a little bit more steel. All right, so this is our last little piece of copper. It's just going straight through up to the top. So we're gonna climb on top very carefully because I might fall through this. It's just foam and plastic, remember. Grab it and pull. Boom, the last piece of copper. Ooh. Alrighty, so now we have completely stripped the fridge. The only thing that is left is obviously the general waste and this little piece of metal that I really couldn't get. I could get it if I tried harder, but I think I've got enough copper. So I'm gonna take this away. That's straight to the rubbish. And before I strip anything else, I'm gonna give this a nice sweep and keep it nice and clean. And so I'll just peel the foam off of this part without making another mess. There it goes. That's some more copper. Bring that over to our nice and full copper bucket. And now let's get started on the main things. Just put these tools away. Just clean up this compressor. Now I will be opening this compressor either way, doesn't matter if it's alley or copper, because when you open them up, you're upgrading it from a sealed unit all the way up to a electric motor. That's just a little bit of rubbish. It's all that copper wire. And now to get to the very corner of these copper pieces, I get my little chisel. And where's my hammer? Uh-oh. Oh, found it. It's hiding from me. So I'm going to get my sharpened chisel, line it up with the side of the sealed unit and hammer, and it'll come off. It's basically just cutting through it. Just like that. Once it gets to a point, you just wiggle it off, and that's how you get your number 2 copper. Now I'm not cutting this open yet, but I do save all the oil from each of them. This oil is a super great lubricant. It's just like WD-40, except it's way more helpful. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. But you can obviously see I've got quite a bit of it now. It's okay if it's mixed up. I lube up some of my tools, all sorts of machinery with it. Obviously, it's not something that you can just dump straight into the waterway or straight onto the that's a bug. I'll save that one for the chickens. Something you get straight onto the soil. All right, there we are. So I'll just move that up there. We'll come back to it. Now we can do this radiator, if I can get the wiring out. Now how does this open, or does it slide out? It looks like it slides out. Yep. So that's all just landfill. Looks like a bit of stainless. Nope, that's steel. Got some more regular rubbish. A little bit more wire. And so for this to be cleaned, we need to chop out the copper and all of these other little like heating element sort of things. You can obviously see that it splits apart. Just like that. This looks like a little bit of extrusion. And this is just some more steel. Just pluck our copper out. And we'll also score down the heat shrink. Grind off our metal so we can obviously see where the copper meets the alley. We're going to chop it on the alley side. Just around until it breaks. Just like that. Take off this little earth plug as well. Now obviously this is like this one as well. It's basically just a filter. Take off some of our number 2 copper we got sitting around, and we'll cut that open shortly. Now this is a heating element, I'm pretty sure. If I scratch it, it'll come up like an aluminium, but if I put a magnet to it, nothing. But it's still got the weight of stainless steel, so this is a dirty stainless heating element. And oh, not just yet. Fold that back down and do the same thing we just did. Slice. Grind. We can see our copper and alley cut. Number 2 copper, and clean alley red. Next step, we'll move on to this top part, which is with the light. It's got 2 screws holding the top plate on. So now we've got a nice big old piece of brass, and on the other side we've got copper, and copper. So this is number 2 copper because it's like a tarnished plate. That's rubbish. These connectors, in case you're wondering, are brass, so we're going to be saving them. We've got a little bucket for our brass. And now this, I've never bothered to break them down. I'm going to chuck it in the steel. And this is our little temperature thingy-majig. We'll just make it straight, and then we'll take the plastic right off. This should be copper as well. Sometimes they are stainless, like for instance in an oven they're stainless, but that is bright copper. Just cut the wires off the fan motor. Cut the plug out. And there's our wire. And last but not least, let's get to the fan motor. Rubbish, steel, and I'm not sure if I can get to that. Yep. Alright, so that's going to go as a ballast. And our light bulb, I don't bother doing anything with this, even though that's brass. Straight into the rubbish. We'll grab our safety wear, our PPE. And so these contain like a, you can actually hear it. It's basically just a copper tube with balls inside of it that help like pass through the freon or whatever the gas is. So we'll cut it and we'll just crack it open like an egg. Obviously that's all not copper, so it's going to stay there. So it's all going to go in the rubbish. And that's what we're left with, number 2. And now, the big ticket item. It's time to cut this open. Alright, crack it right open. Snip that. And snip that. Now don't be fooled by this. This does look like copper, but it's actually steel. Straight in the steel bin. Rip it on out. This is our steel and this. And now the moment of truth. Now, if this does become an alley winded electric motor, the yard will pay, I think, $1.40 for this. I will have to update and check my prices. But if it's copper, then we're gonna take the copper out. But if it's alley, it's not a total loss. We've bumped it up from the price of a sealed unit to the price of an electric motor. And look at that. Copper. Beautiful. Copper. Get a hammer. I've actually lost my axe, so I've got to go buy a new one. But still, hammer's right out. We got our copper and we've got our steel. Boom, we are done, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was a really good amount of copper that we got. Now, I don't know, I can't guess it. Obviously, my natural weight guessing is really off. I've got to get that balanced. But what we ended up coming up with is a little bit of brass, a little bit of dirty stainless, one clean aluminium rad, one ballast, a little bit of wire, some steel with some more over there, that big pile including that, two tiny bits of alley. I will put them with the alley radiator as there's not much there. And then most of all, we've got all of our copper. It's amazing that all this pipe would have gone to landfill if I didn't strip it all down. Now, my yard doesn't care. This tin foil and a little bit of what do you call it, styrofoam or foam can stay on. But anyways, we're going to weigh it up and see just how much we've made from one standalone freezer slash fridge. We've got 24 kilos of steel. We'll say 23. Take one for the bucket. Oh no. Oh, I just lost all that recording. Oh, quick, before it all raises from my head. 0.5 kilo. 0.08 steel. 23 kilos without the bucket. Brass, didn't weigh up. Motor, 0.04. Copper, we started with 3 with a tear of 0.66. So that's just over 2 kilos of copper that we got from the fridge, which is actually super good. I don't know what happened, but the recording just stopped, and I don't know how much of that I got on. But anyways, it has been a really good time taking all this copper apart and taking that fridge apart. So anyways, now I'm going to get some prices and we'll go from there. Alrighty, scrappers, here we are. Such a bummer that I misclicked when I was recording and I didn't end up recording the prices, but I do remember them. See, I've got a good brain. So we got our items on the side: steel, alley, dirty stainless, motor, wire, and number 2 copper. We got our prices: 140 a ton, $1.90 a kilo, 30 cents a kilo, 140 a kilo, $5.25 a kilo, and $15 a kilo. That copper price is about 2 weeks old, so I'm not sure if it's gone up or down. That is just like a regular price basically. We've got our kilos here. We had 23 kilos of steel, 0.55 of alley rad, 0.08, so that's 80 grams of dirty stainless, 0.4 of motor, 0.5 of wire, and 2.34 kilos of number 2 copper. So we're going to come down slowly, hopefully without revealing everything too quick. We got $3.20 of steel, 105 of alley, 2 cents of that dirty stainless, 56 of the motor, 263 of the wire, and now copper, 35 bucks and 10 cents, with a total of $42.58. Check that out, scrappers. With a grand total of $42.60, and for roughly what, for maybe 40 to about 60 minutes worth of work, that's not that bad. especially since I pulled it straight out of the bush. Someone's just dumped it on the side of the road, and well, it's being saved from landfill and it's putting money in my back pocket. So scrappers, let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the tearing down part, and let me know if you guys learned something. Actually, not many people realize that some fridges, or the older types or freezers, are actually wrapped in copper. So on that note, I'm going to finish up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.